All right, and it's up, so make sure we're posting. Okay. All right, guys, welcome. We will be officially starting shortly. Just have to make sure everybody can see us,
Make sure we're posting.
Thank you for your patience, and we'll be getting started soon.
Starting shortly. Just have to make sure everybody can see it.
I don't even know why I got that reverb. I was getting a little bit of feedback.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
It does it every time
Every time you go live?
Yeah, every time I try to I get on and try to share, it does this.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Okay. Is that a ceiling fan?
Yeah, I got it directly over my head.
Oh, I was like, I'm like, oh no, it's just like it sound like somebody over there trying some stunt double stuff.
Let's see. I'm not seeing it on my end. Where you posted at?
I'm posted in everything right now, so.
Okay. Okay, I see.
All right. All right, cool. All right, everybody. So we are going to be getting started shortly. Once we get you back in here. As soon as we get started, all I see is Duval, and I automatically know that somebody obviously has terrible taste. I can't fault them for that. It's only human nature, and that was Adam Mann's. So, Adam, hate to break it to you, but no. Oh, wait, we have Samantha saying, "Hey, washed up QB brothers, what's up?" Hey, nothing much, man. Listen, I wish that we had as much excitement in our stadium. Matter of fact, I think probably TIAA Bank Field is probably the only stadium in the NFL that has a whole entire hot tub in it. And it's still probably one of the worst places to be. Like, I've never seen anywhere that's bad that has a hot tub in it. But, here we are. All right, people. So we are about to get started. Just hang with us. Just listen to this intro from your local artist. So we'll be right back.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it. I just do it. Like Nike swoosh. None of that Reggie Bush, cause I'm top shelf. I ain't got well.
All right, people, and welcome. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. I know normally we're here Tuesday, but like I said, I think Wednesday worked better this week. It was in the air. All right. So yes. So we do want to welcome you back to the You Don't Know Jack podcast, where we'll be telling you about everything with the Colts, and then just sprinkle in some trash talk with a couple of the other teams, like Jacksonville, because apparently Sam is a Jaguars fan. So they've spent $100 million in free agency this year, so they're as hopeful as they normally are after they spend $1 billion in free agency. But hey, who am I to judge? Whatever.
Yeah, they're super excited for 3 wins next year.
Yeah. Hey, listen. At least they got Christian Kirk, and he is probably the 7th highest paid wide receiver in the league. And I don't think he was even in the top 20 of receiving yards last year. But that's neither here nor there. All right. Once again, who am I to judge? But like I said, we'll get into that later. In the meantime, I'm here with the fellas. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. So we'll start off with Mr. Josh Sr., everybody.
What's good, everybody? I'm having a better day than I did yesterday.
Fantastic. 1% better every single day. You know what I mean?
Dealing with what we have internally in our fan base, I need more than 1%.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I'm with you. I understand. All right. And we have with us Austin, aka Ice Cookie, everybody.
What's up? I'm Austin.
Austin Theory. No, change your name. Austin Theory.
Austin Theory. Austin Theory. I mean, I don't think you want to be known as that after what Pat McAfee did. By the way, I know that wasn't something that we necessarily had, but we need to talk about that too. So we're going to get to that as well, because that was great. That was great. What's up, Clyde? How's it going? All right, and then it is myself. I am Chris Jackson. As you can see, my name's right down there, or wherever. I think it's down there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Whichever way. Yeah. There you go. See, we're good. But yeah, this is Chris Jackson, and welcome back to the You Don't Know Jack podcast. Like I said, we're happy for you guys to be here. We promise we're going to keep you entertained as we normally do, because on this episode, we're going to be discussing our favorite person during the off season, Mr. Bargain Bin Ballard.
BBB. I ain't talking about baller brand. Big baller brand.
Big baller brand or Better Business Bureau. It's Bargain Bin Ballard. And you know what? It's what's crazy? We've seen Ballard at his best. We bring in all the coaches. By the way, completely missed out last week, but we got John Fox as senior defensive assistant. He's actually been integral in many different defenses, many different teams as a head coach. So we got Foxy for our defense, and we have Gus Bradley, so we have a lot of experience with these guys now. And so you have to be optimistic about the defense until you realize that we've only made one major move when it comes to defense with Yannick Ngakoue. And I mean, if you want to call signing Armani Watts and Brandon Fasieson in free agency a big deal, then you can, I guess. But,
no.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you're right. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not gonna pry, but I just need to know, Austin, why is no one being signed?
Well, we saw today something we all knew, that we're being a little stingy when it comes to money. But like we all knew that already, and we all came into the off season knowing that's just what Ballard does.
Yeah, but like I said, isn't it concerning that we've seen this before, and we saw how the season ended. You know that there was a lot of different things that could have been done differently. And, you know, even if you're not immediately going to, well, you know, we need to sign, or, you know, like I said, we saw what happened in the Raiders game. We need to sign another corner. Or we saw what happened in the Jaguars game. We definitely need to go ahead and upgrade on the O line. If you see last season and you see what happens, and you know that you have holes in on both sides of the ball. If you know
Right.
that you have holes on both sides of the ball, and also in free agency, people walked. I mean, you had guys like Zach Pascal go, Jack Doyle retired. We didn't re-sign Eric Fisher, thank God. Glowinski ended up on the Giants. Teray was visiting with the Falcons. He's visiting with the 49ers now. We also see that, you know, you have guys like Stallworth who signed with, I believe he signed with the Chiefs. We
Yeah, that's
saw
right.
we saw Chris Reed sign with the Vikings. You know, we saw Rocky Singh got traded for Yannick Ngakoue, which to me personally I think is an upgrade. But at the same time, how can you justify losing that many people and all that's been done is getting Yannick Ngakoue, who's going to start from day one, and then everybody else that you're getting is basically just a role player that, you know, is basically fourth or fifth, with the exception of Armani Watts, who's probably third because people don't carry that many safeties. How do you justify having that many people leave and only having less than a handful of people actually sign? And I'll ask this to you, Josh.
His justification is to get more comp picks. The more we lose, the more picks we get next season for losing X amount of players. That's pretty much what he did last season when we didn't re-sign Audrey, we didn't keep Brissett, we didn't keep Justin Houston. So that's pretty much what he's doing now. Trying to get more picks. I mean, like I said, we see the holes that we need: left tackle, depth, more corners, another safety. Definitely receivers, tight end. I mean, the list goes on. And right now, he's just sitting on. I don't know the current cap space we have right now, but it's not an issue to sign a player. It's not a problem. I know. Jim Irsay said last week that we got a guy that in free agency that we can sign, but the cap is the issue. Okay, what are the asking price and what are you guys are offering? Because they're not. I mean, I know they're not going to say anything, but you know, what are the veteran they're talking about? You know, we don't know what big free agent or what veteran they're trying to bring on. That money is the issue right now. I mean, we say everybody have been speculating that it's Tyrann Mathieu. Okay, what is he wanting? Because if it's money, he shouldn't go to the Saints because they don't have any money.
Yeah,
and they don't have a need for a safety.
I mean, the thing is, when we're talking about, you know, the players that you're looking to sign, there's ways to work the money. And I mean, if the biggest fear that you have is potentially having to re-sign Quentin Nelson, there's always going to be opportunity. Mind you, they literally have it set up so that they're going and increasing the cap every year. So even with those numbers the way that they are, we've seen teams absolutely work under the cap. I mean, you see the Bills, they literally just signed Josh Allen to that huge deal. They already had what's his name under contract. They had Stephon Diggs under contract. You saw that they just re-signed Tre'Davious White before that, and he's on a big deal. And then you see that they just got Von Miller 6 years, $120 million, and they have a good portion of that guaranteed. But then they just extended Stephon Diggs again. So for me personally, if you're looking at the numbers, the Rams were a team that was cash strapped. And somehow they managed to go and sign guys like Bobby Wagner. They managed to go and sign like an Allen Robinson. They managed to go and do, you know, make these moves here and
Resign
there.
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, like you're re-signing Matthew Stafford for more money. So the thing is, I don't like when they say, okay, it's a cap issue. To me personally, it's like we have 22 million right now. Even if you go and you have somebody agree to a deal where you're going and giving them X amount, like let's just say for Matthew, if you're giving him a 3-year deal and it's 3 years, 40 million, and you do $22 million of that guaranteed.
Right.
You still technically are going to have money left by those standards. Unless he's asking for 3 years, $100 million, what's the holdup? And then on top of that, it's just like there's certain guys like you have like Bradbury, those talks just went straight to heck. It's just like you still have guys in free agency like Stephon Gilmore because I don't think he signed anywhere yet. Jarvis Landry's still out there. So, I mean, the longer you wait, like now Stephon Diggs extended for $26 million. Now, the thing is, does that mean that Jarvis Landry is now rethinking and then his numbers going up or what's happening?
Man, there's a ton of free agents left. I mean, you got Melvin Ingram, who's 32. I know people say, oh, he's old. I was like, he's experienced. That's what we lack, experience on the line and in the secondary. You know, why we want to pass guys for developing rookies.
Yeah.
And then we get into a situation we play the teams we play. Well, we don't have enough experience. Well, we had we had the resources to get those experience in the offseason, and we bypassed it.
Yeah, and that's the issue that we're going to continuously run into because even now, you know, if Ballard was to sign nobody else in free agency, how does that affect the draft? Like, what does that look like?
He got 8 picks.
And you have 8 picks to fix numerous positions. 7 picks to fix numerous positions. And what are you going to do? Because the only way that you get more trade picks or draft picks is if you trade down. But if you trade down, that means that you're potentially losing out on talent, which we know that he's going to trade down for draft picks anyway. But so here's what we're going to do before we get any crazier. We're going to say, I think this is Adam, but Adam said you got jokes. Samantha Warnett says, sorry, we don't have 1 million banners for nothing. If you did have banners flying over the field, that would be amazing considering that it's a stadium and not a dome. So jokes on you, doesn't matter. Clyde says, what's up, fellas? 22 million is what we have right now, or what we have left. And then he says, I believe we are now trending to complete draft and then wait for these roster cuts that will be made league-wide.
Yes, I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
But here's the issue that I have with that. How are you going to justify, you know, what's happening or how we're going to be able to fill holes on the team when we're waiting for the cast-offs? I get it's just like you're going to find diamonds in the rough when it comes to undrafted free agents and all that other good stuff. But the thing is, if that's what you're depending on, that's not a great formula for success because it obviously hasn't been working.
Well, that's what they hang their hat on, is having, you know, 22 years straight with the undrafted free agent signed to a roster. When, you know, the opening day roster, they've been hanging on that. They've been hanging on that for so many years.
Yeah, but at what point, like they can hang their head on that, but the thing is, it's been done in 22 years, but it's only led to 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 actual Super Bowl win. Like if for some reason at some point or another you've won 2, I'd even say 3. That means that your average for signing undrafted free agents means that, you know, like I said, it's just like out of the 22 years, you won 3 Super Bowls, which means that you can say that there's semi-success there. But how can you say that knowing exactly what this is right now? Nobody from that Super Bowl winning team was that fully contributed was an undrafted free agent. I think you may have the case.
Maybe the only one would be Jeff Saturday.
Possibly.
yeah. I can't even. I got to think about that. Aaron is the guy that? No, that's the second Super Bowl. So yeah, I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, I think you're thinking about Aaron Moorhead.
Yeah, I think that was the second Super Bowl against Saints.
Yeah. So like, if we're actually, you know, talking about the team, we're talking about how we're supposed to be able to, basically like how we're supposed to be able to cover and just do, like really just, I'm gonna say, build the team up. I like the fact that Ballard wants like the hard nosed, hard working guys, but at the same time, it's like if you're not paying for proven commodities, then you're doing yourself a disservice. What
Right.
what can you really say about Honey Badger regarding how he's been or what he's done, other than the fact that like I said, you may be concerned about injuries because he's had injuries in the past. But the thing is, it's just like it's proven year by year exactly what he can do. Now the thing is, if he's asking for 25 million a year,
You kick rocks.
it's a little crazy. But I don't think that that's the case.
It's he's a stubborn GM. We know that for a fact. He's stubborn. He's going to stick to his guns. I like that sometimes. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. Right now, it's hunting us, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, and that was somebody else that I thought. Clyde said Dominic Rhodes was an undrafted
Yes.
free agent.
Yes.
So okay, yep. And I thought about Rhodes, and I'm like, I don't know whether that was the case, but okay, yep. So it was him, and even then, it was him and Joseph Adai on that team, where those two, it's just like they were a great 1-2 punch because they were the perfect complement to each other.
And Joseph was
So-
a rookie.
Yeah. Adai was a rookie that year that we won the Super Bowl. And then that was probably the best that we were going to get when it came down to that. So,
We got lucky. We got lucky because we let Adrian go to Arizona. I was upset about that. We got lucky.
Yeah, we did. That was sad too because it was just like, dang, okay, we want Adrian, but they were going to let him walk because of that running back shelf life thing. So,
Yeah.
either way. But, okay, so on to bigger and better things. So now that we understand exactly where we're going with the draft, to talk about the draft, guess what we're going to be doing? Good old mock draft. Bam, baby. All right. So this is going to actually be a little bit different from what we're used to. We're not going to go through the whole entire draft. Just going to go through our picks for the draft, go through what we've seen, based on where the team is right now. What exactly are we going to be doing when it comes down to, drafting, basically getting everything together. So we're going to go round by round. We're going to do it snake draft style. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Austin start us off with his pick. We're also going to be going and speaking on, the comparison for the player that we see us getting in the draft, so that this way we'll be able to say, hey, this is what we're looking for. And, like I said, we might even go and just like do one now. And then if we end up signing somebody, which I doubt, within the next week, then we'll probably do another one next week as well. So this way we'll be able to update. But so without further ado, we're going to get started. Like I said, we're going snake draft. So we're actually going to have first up for the second round, we're going to go Austin. We're going to go myself, then Josh. And then Josh is going to start us off on the third round, go back through. Same way you do in fantasy football. If you don't do fantasy football, do it this year. I don't know what your problem is. But
by the way, I'm the winner, so yeah. We can go ahead.
And I had injuries. Okay, sir. All right.
By the way, I am the winner. I am the champ. Thank you.
Yeah, I will just say, against my better judgment, I went with Nick Chubb. So you got lucky. You got lucky. But either way, to get us started with our mock draft, and mind you, we're starting in the first round or second round because we don't have a first round pick because F. Carson wins. But this is a family podcast. So
the Saints have it.
All right. You didn't have to rub it in. All right. Like we didn't have to do that. All right. So without further ado, Austin, what do we have going first?
All right, so I went a little different than my normal mock drafts on this first pick. Because I usually go wide receiver first pick, but I didn't this time. I went with our round 2, pick 42, Colorado State tight end, Trey McBride. 6'4", 240. He won the Mackey Award for the best tight end in college football. And he has great hands, and he can block. So I think he would be a good replacement for Doyle. And I compared him to Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews? Okay.
Perfect. I like that. Yeah.
All right. And so with my first pick, and I actually had to go through or go back. So with my first pick, I had us getting Christian Watson, wide receiver, North Dakota State. I'm gonna say it's just I'm gonna say it's just like he's what you would consider probably like that freak of nature in terms of what he's able to do. Like I said, it's just like they have him listed around like 6'4", 6'5". Either way, he's a big target. I'm gonna say it's just like he's strong. He ran a 4.44 40, so he comes with speed. I think he actually is the perfect complement to Michael Pittman Jr. because of the fact that Michael Pittman is just going to be one of those big possession guys. I mean, he already is just somebody who, he's going to be very, very reliable. He's going to come down with the ball. But the other thing about it is that, if you have somebody on the other side that's 6'4", 6'5", the average cornerback in the league now is probably going to be around 5'11", 6 foot. So if you have two people who are 6'4", that means that there's going to be a mismatch somewhere. So you're either going to have to hope for, you're going to either have to hope that your cornerbacks are locked down, or they're just going to have a bad day. I think if I'm looking at him versus or him in any situation, I'm not going to say that he's like a Calvin Johnson type, but I will go ahead and say that it's just like in terms of that height, in terms of that speed, I'm going to say that's probably like very close to it. Will he have the same impact? Maybe, maybe not. But I can see him just being just like a matchup nightmare for a lot of cornerbacks.
Yeah, that's a matchup nightmare.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. And then Josh, who do you have in the second round for us?
For pick 42 in second round, I got Christian Watson as well. Same thing you said, 6'4", 208 pounds. Fast receiver, probably one of the fastest on our team since we have any, other than Pittman. Like you said, all the ball skills, good speed, good athletic, and we need that on the opposite side of Pittman. Comparison. I'm trying to. I mean, I would say Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin, okay.
Just a taller version of Chris Godwin.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's just like that's a good one. I like that one because I think he's going to be tough. I do have a feeling that he might go a little bit sooner than that.
I hope not.
I can just see a team like the Jets getting him in the first round, like just basically just like reaching for him because
if they don't get AJ Brown. I had to get that in there.
Okay, all right. I like what you're doing there. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then in that case, now moving to the third round, now who do you have?
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go with a tackle. Abraham Lucas from Washington State.
Okay.
6'7", probably one of the bigger offensive linemen on our line. 324. He's a beast. He's a beast. He's come from the Pac-12. See, what stood out was he's good in the passing game, which we need. That's what we lacked last year with Eric Fisher. Was terrible at that. Eric Fisher was good in the run game, but terrible in passing game. So this would help. This would be a major boost on the offensive line.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and I think we were talking pre-production. I was talking to Austin, and I think I got my mocks mixed up because I think I've been kind of like like moving within the idea of us going wide receivers in like back-to-back scenarios. But I'm gonna say, if we don't get Ty back, it's gonna be, it's gonna be tough because you lose kind of that veteran leadership. But also remember, we did get Reggie Wayne as a wide receiver coach.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say, with that being said, our pick in the third round at pick 73 is gonna be Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh, 2 wide receivers. Perfect.
Yeah. So I think when you're talking about, offense and trying to throw people off balance, the one thing that you saw last year was that you're going to end up, having a couple different guys in a couple different spots. I think, the biggest thing that you had um when it came to offenses, like let's just say the Chiefs, for example. The Chiefs had, Tyreek Hill. They had Demarcus Robinson. They had Sammy Watkins. Those are three different types of receivers with three different skill sets. And the one thing, like I said, about a lot of these teams is that, you know, you can't really do too much to try to throw off a lot of these passing games. So, if you have a Michael Pittman Jr., you have a Christian Watson, and then you have Wan'Dale Robinson, you can throw him just about anywhere. I mean, in this case, if you have Wan'Dale Robinson, you're getting the guy who's smaller, who's going to be shifty. I think he's probably a very close to, Ty in terms of what he can do. I think Ty is better, but at the same time, I think if you get Wan'Dale Robinson, you end up being able to make sure that you don't have to take a guy like Naeem Hines out the backfield. Because the one
Right.
thing that I think Carson Wentz did last year that we did so much better the year before is being able to throw to the checkdowns. Phillip Rivers loved to throw to the checkdowns, loved to throw to the flats, loved to go ahead and just basically utilize every portion of the field, whether it be side to side, even those intermediates. We didn't have that last year with Carson. So, of course, Hines had a diminished role, and that made it so that we weren't able to necessarily do everything that we could do to maximize the potential of the offense. But now with Matt Ryan's going to make those passes 9 times out of 10. So the thing is, if you don't have the deep ball, he's going to go to the intermediate. If he doesn't have the intermediate, he's going to have the checkdowns. And nobody's going to be able to absolutely cover every single area of the field. No one. I just don't see that happening in the slightest. So I think Wan'Dale Robinson is where we're going to go with that
I love
particular
that one.
pick.
I love that pick.
All right. Then Austin.
With my round 3, pick 73, got South Alabama wide receiver Jalen Tolbert.
Oh,
6'1",
I forgot about him.
194. He ran a 4.4. And I went to one Tennessee Vols game, and it was against South Alabama. And their only bright spot was Jalen Tolbert. He was catching over everybody. He was making good plays after the catch. He's just solid and he's fast. And I think paired with the right quarterback, like Matt Ryan, he could come in day one and make good plays. And I compared him to Greg Jennings.
Okay, great job. Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. All right, so Austin, you're up again, actually. And this is for the 4th round, since we traded the other 3rd round pick that we had over to the Falcons for Matt Ryan. So then, who do we have in the 4th round?
All right, round 4, pick 122. I got Sam Houston State cornerback Zion McCollum.
Okay.
He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and he ran a 4.3 40.
Ooh.
So he has good length and he's good. He has good speed. He's a ball hawk. He had 13 interceptions and 6 forced fumbles. So I mean, fits right in with our defense.
Okay.
I compared him to Kevin King.
Kevin King. Okay.
He had that one season with 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
Solid.
Okay, that's not bad. I think that's honestly like that could be a very underrated, very low key kind of pickup because, if you're looking at the team now, that it's just like if you add another corner, you have another young guy. I think this year is actually going to be Isaiah Rodgers' really big coming out party for him to be able to be on the other side and really just be that super fast, like great defender, the way that he showed that he was like towards the end of last season. So that's going to be amazing. So for my 4th round pick at pick 122, I have us picking up from Kentucky offensive tackle Dare Rosenthal.
Okay.
So this guy, so the thing is, I know like we generally are looking for, I think we're looking for a lot of skill positions. I do feel like the team as a whole, Ballard and everybody, is looking to kind of get better on offense because we know that there was a lot of times where there was a lot of points left out on the field. But I think the one thing that they want to get back to is having that strength that the O-line is going to be the strong point of the offense so that this way, I think the O-line as it stands right now, I think it's still light years better than anything that Matt Ryan had in the last 5 years.
It's definitely,
but now when we're looking at it, it's just like if you can get somebody like a Dare Rosenthal, he's somebody who actually can play the pass and the run. He's very, very strong. It's just like he's tall, but at the same time, I think he has the type of strength to be able to go up against some of those bigger, stronger guys. I feel like there might be times where it's just like he of course he'll have to adjust to certain players like, the speed rushers of the world, like your Montez Sweats, where he is like just way faster than he puts out there. But I think he's going to be somebody that you can absolutely plug and play from day one. I think honestly he'll probably end up beating out what's his name? And I always forget his name. Offensive tackle.
Matt Pryor.
Yeah, Matt Pryor. There you go. I thought to say Matt Doyle. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, but that's who I have for pick 122. And what do you have, Josh?
This is gonna hit home for me. At 122, I'm going with Josh Jobe, cornerback from Alabama.
Oh, did you pick him because he's Alabama, or did you pick him because you trust him?
Because I trust him because he's best. He's been coached by a great defensive guy, defensive anchor guy. That's what he's hanging his hat on. Okay. Oh my God. And we need that. Guy 5'11" with a 6'4" wingspan. He loves to get in, he loves to get in the faces of the offensive players. So he is very aggressive, like we had with, your sin. So we're gonna miss that from your sin. So we get that back with Josh Jobe. The only downside is pretty much with the same thing you're seeing here. He was too aggressive at times, so he get penalties. Okay. But other than that, he's disciplined outside of too aggressive at times when over the line of scrimmage. So that's my comparison to your sin. That's my comparison. Okay. Not a good comparison. I had more than Humphrey, but I'm gonna go with your sin.
Okay, all right. And then your next pick for round 5.
My next pick at 159 would be. Let me go back. It is linebacker out of Houston, David Ania, 6'2", 251. He's underrated defensive player. I mean, we don't need a linebacker. Well, we don't need a linebacker. But it's never enough linebackers we can have. He's good a run defender, which we have a bunch of those right now with Bobby Okereke or Curry. You don't like the other name. And Zion Franklin, he don't like the Okereke. And Darius Leonard. So we got another run stopper. He's very quick for a big guy at 251. I don't have a comparison to him. If
Okay.
I did,
All
I
right.
don't have one for him. I don't have one for him. I don't have.
And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Like I said, I think it's just like a couple other guys. It's just like you might be a little bit like I'm not gonna say early on, but the thing is, it all depends. But this one, I'm gonna actually go a little bit different on this one. I feel like yes, we're high on Pinter, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I don't believe that they're absolutely completely sold on him. So I'm gonna say out of University of Tennessee Chattanooga, we're going to be looking at Cole Strange.
Who?
Cole Strange from Chattanooga.
Okay. Okay.
Offensive guard. So I think that so I know that they were high on Pinter. I know that they liked him. I do feel like they maybe like Chris Reed a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think the one thing that you want to make sure that you do is you're shoring up that O-line again. Going back to that once again, when we're going back to the O-line, we're going back to making sure that we're getting guys who are going to be able to make sure that they're securing that middle, that they're getting, every single type of production. He's a big body. I mean, he's 6'4", 307 pounds. So I do feel like it's just like he's somebody who's going to be able to open up necessary holes and also make sure that, if when you have those heavy rushes through the middle, he'll be able to work, next to Ryan Kelly and work in between Kelly and Braden Smith and really just be able to shore up that right side of the line the way that we know that he can.
Right.
All right. And
I
then
agree.
if I'm comparing him to anybody, I mean, guard wise, I'm gonna bring up a name that may be a little bit sore for all of us. That I think that he has the potential to be good. And he's actually an old Colt, but minus the injuries, I think it's just like when it comes to him in terms of size, in terms of strength, in terms of his ability, I think we're going to be looking at, and I just had the name. I literally just had the name. He was actually our left guard right before Quentin Nelson. Oh, Jack Muhort.
That's not bad. That's not. I mean, he was. I wouldn't say sore because he was pretty good for us. I know we let him go, but yeah, I mean, no, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I think that was merely injury related, and it was because I mean he actually left, and then I think he retired shortly after because he just couldn't stay healthy. All right, so next up we have Austin.
Yeah, with my round 5, pick 159 is a Tulsa tackle, Chris Paul.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
He's 6'4", 323. He played guard and tackle. So he's versatile. Yes, and he's a little raw, but I think he could come in and add depth to the line that we need.
Okay.
So my comparison is Larry Borum. He's a young lineman from the Bears with some upside.
Okay. All right. And then your next one.
With my round 5, pick 179, got Florida A&M safety Marquise Bell.
Oh, I like that one.
6'2", 212. He ran a 4.4 40. He's very active. He has length and he has speed. He's shown he can stop the run, but he needs to work on his technique. Okay. And we're getting him in a later round, so we can't expect him to be, fantastic. But I compared him to Kemu Grugier-Hill. He's a linebacker, but
Grugier-Hill. Yep.
That's who I compared him with.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one there.
All right. So I think keeping up with the offensive theme of this draft, and this is going to be kind of surprising. However, I think ultimately, we'll also end up. I think we'll probably end up going to quarterback. potentially somebody a little bit smaller, but at the same time, I think what the plan is to have Matt Ryan here for at least the next 2 years. So I can actually see them going with Brock Purdy from Iowa State. So yes, so the thing is, if you look at him, if you look at him at least on the onset, he has some very Drew Brees type of characteristics. Like I said, he's about 6 foot, a little bit of a smaller guy. But the thing is, he actually is a guy that has been able to pass, has been able to show that he can run the ball. Also, he's coming off of his senior year, so I mean he's experienced. I think when it comes down to it, anybody that we get, because I know that Ballard generally is going to go after a quarterback, I think that he has the ability to, be able to sit under Matt Ryan, and I think this is the year that you get a quarterback that's going to sit under Matt Ryan for at least the next 2 years, really learn, really take in the game. One thing that's very, very underrated about Matt Ryan is his footwork. So you're going to learn how to work in the pocket. You're going to learn, how to make sure that you're reading the field properly. And I think if you get somebody like him and you train him up properly, you could potentially end up going and, you have a diamond in the rough, really.
Yeah, that's a safe pick to get a quarterback to groom for, like I said, for 2 years, at least 2 years.
Yeah. All right. And so, all right. And then, Josh, who do you have?
I have for, was it 179?
Yep.
I'm going to, just because we lost him, I'm going to bring in at that pick Zyquandra White, running back, South Carolina. Simply because if we're going to be using Nyheim Hines and as a receiver as well, slot receiver as well, we're going to need a running back, especially with losing Marlon Mack to the Texans. He's not the fastest guy. He run a 4.6, but he break a lot of tackles. He has good bursts, good footwork, got a good first burst. He, like I said, his weaknesses is he's not good at pass protector, which we need that in our offense. Running back that can pass protect, but he's not been fast. I would compare him to the Niners' new running back Elijah Mitchell, which is pretty decent.
Okay.
He's 6'1", 212. So yeah, I'm going to run it back at that spot since we lost Marlon back, and going to be using Hines and potentially in the offense as a slot receiver. So it's good to have another back behind Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. That actually, so the thing is, I think for one of my picks, I really thought about it for a second. I was like, you know what, they could end up going with running back because of the fact they lost Marlon Mack. But I think also it's just like I think they might actually go to somebody like a Deion Jackson.
Okay,
and, just kind of like elevate him from the practice squad because like I said, you have Hines, you have Taylor, but the thing is, I think the one thing that they're doing is they're trying to make sure that they have as much shelf life as possible because we know running back is probably one of the shortest positions to play in the NFL. So they'll end up basically just having, I think they'll end up getting a running back eventually, but I think it's really just going to depend. All right.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, Deion is a undrafted free agent, and he spent a lot of time on practice squad. Maybe he gets a spot if he can win out. If they don't draft for a running back, he should be able to take a spot. If they don't draft one.
Okay. All right, and then what is your next pick?
I'm going to go with safety since we have a problem with signing one. I got Nick Grant out of VTech. No, out of Virginia, not VTech, out of Virginia. 6'3", 4'5", weighs weight 191. Strengths, he's athlete, good footwork, good balance. So he's always shadowing his target. Competitive. I don't watch that conference a lot. Good instincts. Attacks the ball. He's like a ball hawk. Kind of, sort of, not all the way. Weaknesses. He can get lazy on his fundamentals. But we got good coaching with John Fox and Gus Bradley and Ron. So I think they can coach that weakness.
Okay.
I would say as a safety.
As a safety?
Yeah, safety. I'm trying for as comparison. He. I did watch a little video today. Kind of reminds me of Antoine Bethea.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I love the Antoine Bethea.
He wasn't tall as Antoine Bethea was not that tall, but he reminds me of Antoine Bethea.
Yeah, and also Antoine Bethea wasn't afraid to hit, so
definitely was not.
All right. So, and this is on. I think we're on pick 216, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So for pick 216, I'm going where we finally go defense. We're going with Ali Green, the fourth cornerback out of Missouri. So,
oh yeah.
This is actually, I think, probably going to be one of those very low key type of moves, only because of the fact that he is somebody that may not necessarily be viewed as highly now, just because of his style. He's very, very physical at the line of scrimmage. Definitely will get his hands on guys, just making sure that it's just like he's like hitting in the shoulder, basically just making sure that he is like disrupting routes. He's also 6'2", which is something that's also understated because I feel like if you are somebody who's 6'2", then you can absolutely go and run with just about anybody just based on your speed or based on your height. And I think this is one of those guys that, Nate Ollie, who we just picked up with Gus Bradley.
Yeah.
Nate Ollie, likes these types of guys because they can be physical, but at the same time, they can just be really, really good when it comes to coverage. So I think that one is probably going to be a very, very underrated type of move for us. So that's my pick for 216. Austin, what you got?
For round 6, 216, I got Ole Miss wide receiver Dontario Drummond. 6'1", 215. He ran a 4.6 40, so he's not the fastest. So I think he's going to fall in the draft. It's round 6.
Okay.
He has pretty reliable hands, and he's really good after he catches the ball.
Okay.
So he has an intriguing ceiling, but also could have a low floor. It's a risk, but I think he's a risk you can take in the 6th round.
Okay.
I compared him to Laviska Shenault.
Laviska? Okay, so big body. Okay. All right, and then lastly for round 7, all right, what do we have?
Round 7, pick 240. I got Illinois center Doug Kramer. He's 6'2", 305. He's a great run blocker. He didn't allow a sack in the 2020 season, so he did pretty well.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
And I think he could play the guard and the center, so I think he can also be a little versatile. So I compared him to how we used Chris Reed and Danny Penner last season.
Okay. All right. And who do you have for the last round?
That was my last round.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry about that.
It's then you, then me.
Yep. All right. And so I'm going to say with my last pick, I feel like they're going to double up, get somebody else at offensive tackle. So we're going to end up getting Gene DeLance out of Florida. Once again, it's just like I think it's just he's somebody who can seal the edge. I feel like he's actually going to make sure that, like I said, he's going to be a guy that we have there for depth. I think he could potentially be a fringe starter after a while. I think if you get him with Kevin Mawai, he's going to be able to actually just really be able to coach him up. He's, like I said, 6'5". They list him at 307, but they're debating some things as far as his weight goes, because they said one report said 307, another one said 270, which is a pretty drastic difference. He's not always the most consistent, but once again, that's something that I think you can coach up after a while. But yeah, that's my very last pick that I have there for us. So, Josh, it's on you.
I had my last pick. I had the quarterback out of Iowa State, Brock Purdy. So it's pretty much the same thing, same tools, same traits that you alluded to on your pick. But I want to go ahead and add. I want to change that to adding another linebacker out of Ole Miss, Chance Campbell.
Okay.
He's a tackling machine. He's a tackler, and I mean, you adding more tackles. I mean, we know this defense we're gonna need to tackle. We don't get a lot of pressure, pass rush, a lot of sacks in this defense, but we're gonna need somebody to tackle, especially in the loaded AFC. So I changed it from the quarterback to Chance Campbell, linebacker out of Ole Miss. He's 6'2". He runs a 4.5, so he's pretty fast for a linebacker. He weighed 233.
Oh, so he has a potential to be a hitter.
Yeah, so he could start, even though we might not play three linebackers. Could be could add to special teams, but he hits.
I gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. And that's fair. Like I said, it's just like, I think the one thing that we're lacking is, guys that, will actually come up and hit, but also, I think we just need somebody. I liked Franklin, that's cool, but I feel like he's more of a special teamer than he is somebody that is just absolutely going to be like an outside linebacker. So I think we may need to go ahead and get a guy that's going to be outside like that. But, like I said, once again, we'll see how that happens. So really quickly, only because we had a bunch of comments come in during our mock. But so starting from the beginning, they said, all right, he said, let's go. I've completed a number of these. They said, solid, very solid, Austin. And then he said, hell yes, my pick every single time, talking about Christian Watson. He said, Mike Williams is my comparison, which is actually a very good comparison, because Mike Williams, he's kind of like a sneaky fast guy, but he's another one of those guys who's like a short-handed receiver. So that made a lot of sense.
I would have used Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, yeah, I think Keenan Allen as well. They said he's also strong. They use him well in the run game. Milton Ward said, yeah, Josh, I think Watson will be gone, but I don't know, when we're talking about somebody probably reaching for him. But if he's there, fantastic. And then Clyde said, Harris Campbell going to bounce back, fellas. I never like OSU picks, but I just feel that he will. So do I, but at the same time, if he doesn't, then
you can't rely on that.
What more can you do, And then he said,
we got bad luck with Ohio State players.
Yeah, he said, I'm not sure what pick that we were talking about, but he said that's really early for him, Josh. He's in the 200 to 210 range. I think that's when we were talking about the player that you picked either after Watson. I think it was maybe like the linebacker that you talked about early on.
Oh yeah, Nick.
It might have been Josh. What was it? I think it was.
My second pick was. Yeah, it was second round.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he said he was early for him because he's going to be in like the 200 to 210 range. Oh yeah, he's talking about Job. Yes, he said that.
No, he's not no 6th round player. No way.
Well,
that's 5th and 6th.
Where's Job from?
From Alabama.
Stop being a homer, Josh. Stop being a homer.
That's being realistic, man. That's being realistic.
He's a single player from Tennessee. Just
I didn't get any from Virginia Tech either. So I mean, you got to throw that. You got to
I
throw
mean,
that bias out there.
to be honest, I mean, the coach wouldn't pick a player from Tennessee other than Peyton Manning.
Fair. Okay, that's fair. All right, and then he said, "Damn OSU, he retired on us, effing Newhort." Yeah, that was tough. But you know what? It was for the best for him because the man couldn't stay healthy. He didn't play a full
Yeah,
season ever.
that's bad.
But then he said, "What about Sam I am, Chris? He the backup or are you cutting him?" I'm not cutting him at all. We're gonna have Matt Ryan, Sam Ellinger, and I'm gonna say potentially if they're there, because also I think they also talked about the fact that I think GMs and teams are kind of a little bit disparaged by this quarterback class. So I
Mhm.
think other than Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis, I think guys are going to drop drastically. So I don't know. I just feel like no matter what, Ellinger is going to be there. They are going to pick up a quarterback. If Matt Corral or like you said, Carson Strong might be there, might be a little bit earlier. I think there's even a big chance that Malik Willis could possibly end up going in the that he could end up going to the second round. If he does, there's a chance that we could potentially pick him up. So
Be okay
I don't
with
know.
him.
This
I don't know.
is
We'll
random.
see.
This is
Yeah.
random. Every Ohio State player that we drafted has been injury prone. Think about Anthony Gonzalez.
Yep.
Think of Jack Mehort,
Mm-hmm.
Taquan Lewis, Paris Campbell. I mean, we have bad luck drafting anybody from there. We have. Oh man, this is crazy. I mean, where did Hooker come from? Malik Hooker.
I think he was Ohio State too.
Safety, yeah. So yeah, this is bad.
All right,
We got
so you know what you raise a good point.
we got to stay Ohio State, man. We got to stay away. This is bad, yeah.
Then we said, Jackson was active the last month because of special teams duties, which scratched Marlin. He's talking about Deion Jackson.
Yeah.
And then they said, yes, sir, Austin. Is that Corral used him a lot. So AJ Brown 2.0. I think that was the one that you made the comparison to.
Yeah, Dontario Drummond.
To Greg Jennings.
No, Laviscus.
Yes, okay.
Okay, yeah. And then we had Bobby Wagner came out of Ole Miss, same type of profile for Josh Jobe, but everybody ain't Bobby Wagner. So let's just calm that down.
Yeah,
Then they said Mike Doss. I think Mike Doss also came out of Ohio State, maybe. But then he said Hooker was out of OSU. So yeah, we just need to stay away from OSU players altogether.
Yeah, don't draft anybody from there.
Yeah, so we're just going to just skip that from now on. That ship has sailed for Ohio State University because we have literally a 0% success rate when we draft those players. So So with that being said, fellas, we have officially done our mock draft. I think we probably may end up doing another one once we see exactly what we're going to do in free agency. Will we do anything? Probably not, because right now I feel like Ballard has locked the team's wallet in a safe and thrown the key into whatever body of water is closest. And yeah, that's exactly where we're going to be at that point. So yeah, I mean, that's where we are. But once again, like I said, we'll see exactly what's happening. We'll see, exactly where we go. Hopefully, we'll get some much needed help within the next coming weeks. But like I said, the draft is happening on
28th.
28th. So yeah, so we're actually have 3 weeks until we actually do see any type of action with the draft. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, guys, it's been a pleasure as always.
Always,
thank
guys.
you for listening and watching with us and commenting, because it's been fantastic. Oh yeah, and he said Bobby Wagner was a comparison to Chance, the LB Josh selected.
Oh
Of the
yeah,
size and speed and tackling. Okay, all right, gotcha. All right,
yeah.
yep. All right. So then, with that being said, fellas, can we please let the people know where to find you? Starting with you, Austin.
I also want to say someone to look for in round one is George Pickens.
George Pickens. Okay.
Oh, I forgot about that one, man. I was too. Christian Watson was there, man. I was like, oh, I gotta pick him.
Yeah, obviously I would take Christian Washington over him, but George Pickens is solid, I think.
He's pretty good. Yeah. He's
But,
compared to Kevin Johnson.
George Pickens.
Yes, I would compare him to Kevin Johnson.
But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at CookieAustin2.
There we go. Okay. You know what? I'm better with it when it's completely unexpected. All right.
Right.
All right. And then, Josh, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Kroger with Chris Ballard.com. No, I am Josh Senior on Instagram and Twitter.
All right. And then you can find me at CJ Colts Fan on Twitter. And then also you can find us at YDKJAC Podcast. Like I said, anytime that you want to just drop in, leave a comment, ask questions, absolutely, we'll be able to chop it up with you. We love the people who watch. We love, like I said, even if you're not a Colts fan, we still love and appreciate you. Okay, whether you're hating or not. Okay, let your haters be your greatest motivators. That's the way we feel about that.
They're definitely motivating us.
Exactly, and I'm gonna say that's something that Austin says all the time. He says they hate us because they ain't us. Okay, so yes, all the time, and he says appreciate y'all. I support each week, and we appreciate you too, Clyde. Thank you for coming through. But we'll be back next Tuesday. All right, and this way we'll make sure that we are here in full effect. Hopefully, we have more news next week. Otherwise, we're gonna call the episode ... because that's what Chris Ballard will have done in the last week.
Nothing at all. Gotcha.
Exactly. But all right, people will listen. Have a great night. Be safe. If the weather's starting to break where you are, enjoy the weather safely. Okay.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next week.